Good evening, and welcome to the Aseprite art stream. It's a fine Tuesday night. I've made some significant change to, I guess, my streaming time. Things have been pretty alright, and I figured I'll just show off what I've been up to for the past, probably last week. Hope everyone's doing alright. I've been pretty decent in terms of, I guess, life stuff. You know, since it's Veterans Day, today is November 11th, Cyber Year 2025. And, you know, it's been pretty alright. I had the day off of work, so I mostly just spent that day kind of just chilling and working on, just playing catch up on some art file rearrangements and re-editing some writing that's kind of just been in my hard drive. So I'm like, I got some plot lines for Blackmask, but you know, it's still kind of just there. It's mostly like in notes mode, but it's been pretty alright. Kind of just been maybe just on and off with like working on little things. I actually spent most of the day trying to burn a Blu-ray disc because I was kind of like working on a thing, and for some freaking reason the Blu-ray disc for some reason doesn't fit the data, which makes no sense because it's a 25 gig Blu-ray disc and my data is like 10 gigs. So I've been struggling to figure out how that works. I've been trying to handbrake it. I've been trying to figure out little compression things. I'm kind of like, I literally got this stuff to, you know, back up all the stuff. And if it's not saving on the disk, this is going to just be a problem. So it's a thing that I've kind of just need to deal with in the weekend. But, you know, it is what it is with that. So try not to just lose my shit over that. And overall, I've been pretty alright with this. I spent most of the morning doing a video editing this time lapse of this image, which is a Dalmatian casino lady who's it was an art commission, and my commissions are lightly open, but I'm not like going out of my way to advertise it because I kind of just have a bunch of stuff on my plate. But you know, if you're still up for commissioning me, you know, don't feel shy about messaging me, because you know, I'll at least still talk to you and kind of just say, hey, I'm technically arguably open. So in terms of stuff that I've kind of just been doing with this, I mostly made this image in Procreate with like little foibles with this. You know, I did the paper texturing here in Clip because I had all my paper textures just on my desktop. I think I'll transition all my stuff to Clip, but you know, again, kind of just experiment with my marker style, and you know, it's been pretty alright. And I'm trying to be more okay with being looser when it comes to just being overall just looser with all my mark making, coloring, and stuff like that. I'm still not as I still don't feel as happy with how I tackled I guess I'm still, you know, it's still a far cry from how I've originally done a bunch of my artwork, because my previous digital art, it's arguably cleaner but more sterile looking, and there are occasions where I kind of like feel like my digital art is overall getting worse. But I mean, obviously that can't be a thing if I'm working on digital art every day, but I feel like in terms of my iPad stuff, I feel like I'm getting slightly worse because I'm still figuring out what the heck I'm doing with my iPad. And I guess, you know, if I'm basically getting paid for this, I don't have time to ruminate on those thoughts. It's, you know, I gotta get this out in a timely manner. And You know, it is what it is. There's something to be said about putting yourself accountable to something or someone, whether it's a commissioner where, you know, you're getting paid, so you should at least not be spending so much time sitting around pondering a thing. You should at least have your process down. Because, yeah, you got paid, and of course you would like to justify them paying you. So that plus, like, you know, you make up the promise that you would finish a thing, and you gotta execute on that. There's a few promised drawings that I still have yet to finish up in general. In fact, we're gonna flip over to this arrangement, as this is my other big notable art trade project that's kind of just been on my mind for just overall, just the past like several, I'd say, months and stuff, because yeah, this has sort of been dogging me, this like turnaround illustration. I kind of don't need to do this, because this is mostly like an orthographic turnaround for 3D modelers and stuff like that to kind of just figure out. And all this stuff is mostly just, you know, to just make sure and all that stuff. I kind of don't have to do this, but I feel like I need to do this, kind of just provide that service, since my friend gave me full-on like sound effects. So I'm like, okay, let's just give him something that's sort of the equivalent. So kind of doing a front view, side view with like many different layers and stuff like that, and a half cape, and then the arm would be like a big like thing that's underneath that cape. Of course, I probably would need to probably like rearrange it somehow, but that's essentially the whole gist of what I'm planning to do with this specific stream right now. Is I'm gonna be trying to just get myself to working on this. So yeah, your range. I'll probably just put a folder here, call you head, and then put like a little flattening here to say, hey, this head's here. But yeah, I have a bunch of outstanding art, well, not outstanding, but ongoing art trades are kind of just like they're there, but I'm not making a lot of effort to, you know, finish them at the moment, because it's kind of like they're there, but I'm not really not doing a lot of grinding to just get those art trades done. So you know, it is what it is with this, and I do want to at least spend a bit of time on this. So that's what I'm going to be working for this stream, and then I'm going to be going back to work on some storyboards for Blackmask. So yeah, get my little personal timing thing down. Groovy. So yeah, swig of water, swig of water. So yeah, returning to the whole accountability thing, I feel as if making sure that, you know, you actually complete your promises is very important, or even just finishing what you start is a very important thing when it comes to getting art. That's, you know, getting yourself to be a better artist, is getting yourself to finish stuff, because otherwise you'll end up, you know, getting into this long cycle where you're constantly never finishing your work, and you end up getting used to not finishing your work, and then when you're feeling completely negative about yourself, saying, oh man, I totally suck, I never finish all my stuff. You have a giant pile of work kind of self-fulfilling yourself, or kind of like it ends up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you never finish your work, and you never finish your work, and so you feel bad about never finishing your work. And so because you feel bad about never finishing work, you don't bother starting or creating new work. And then you kind of like go into this odd cycle where you try to get yourself to start new work, only to not finish that work because you still have a giant pile of unfinished work. And so you end up feeling worse about yourself because you don't want to continue the tough part of trying to finish the hard work. So that's the big negative spiral cycle that comes with not finishing your work in general. Probably could work with this. This probably doesn't even matter, but it's one of those things where it's like, if I don't do it, it's never gonna, it's not good. It's gonna be really weird. It's gonna just, if I don't do it, it just ends up just being weird. I'm kind of like really intensely staring at this cat because I want to like get that sense of wrinkliness. What I really should be doing is finding a way to get reference of Beerus from Dragon Ball, but I feel like if I do that, I'll probably just be way more overt. So I'm kind of just figuring out how I can do this. It's also pretty fascinating because like the hairless cat has hair everywhere, or it doesn't have hair. Meanwhile, I've given this cat fur here. Like inner ear fluff to kind of just just give it some like texture and stuff like that. Probably doesn't even matter. Plus I feel like I've kind of just ruined it. You know what? Let's completely rework you. I also feel like my nib's way too thick. Trying to like establish a sense of shadow with the inner ear fluff. Because a lot of cat ears kind of like cones inside. It's difficult to really convey that. I also realized that this didn't evenly get the thing, which kind of sucks, but I'll just have to let that rock. Okay. You know what? I'm working on the head way too much, so let's just add some like little bits of wrinklies. Probably could grab more of my neck muscle references, so these veins will make more sense. Yeah, this probably don't even need to do like these thicker line art. It's because again, these are supposed to be orthographics. I haven't done an orthographic view in so long, so I'm kind of really just fumbling at this all. But yeah, I'm trying not to spend a crazy amount of time working and getting this perfect. Because that's basically the reason why I'm blowing so much time not answering Shawnee about this, is because I'm trying to be precious about this. Okay. That made like eye color here. Give him a full ass eye suite. His eyes are a little anime looking, but I'll have to kind of like rework some stuff here. Fuck. Every time I want to zoom in, it like freaking... whatever. Not gonna color it too much. Just enough to be like, just make these features distinct looking. Yes, it's the Kato. Hello, Goji, how it goes? Welcome, welcome. I am in the middle of trying to get another... This is a half commission, half request. It's more like a work trade thing. And I've kind of just been sitting on this for a bit, so I want to knock it out for this stream. Yeah, I've been pretty alright. Been spending most of my day off kind of just doing some re-editing of some old scripts that I've had in my pocket, and hopefully it's still working. I've been reading a bunch of I guess I've been reading a bunch of screenwriting and novel writing books, and I've been getting some decent tips on how to approach not just writing, but keeping myself motivated to write, plus knowing where I need to go whenever it gets stuck when it comes to writing, where it's like, okay, you know, you're focusing on not just, you know, being disparaging about what's not working, and trying to focus in on what your writing is doing to go with the big themes that you're doing with your writing. So that's that's probably one thing that I'm kind of just working on, is learning to write more often. So that's kind of just how I've been spending my day, just working on just getting some editing of writing stuff done. Yeah, methods to combat writer's block is always a good thing. Oh yeah, because I think most times when I've had writer's block, it's mostly because I'm constantly thinking about like what other people think. And when you're in the middle of writing, that's not the time to be thinking about other people. The time to be thinking about other people is when you're like doing the actual proper feedback sessions. It also helps that I go to my local writers group at my library, and so, you know, whenever I need to have something written down, I now kind of like have probably a slight deadline on what I need to get done. So I always like try to shoot for having something ready by that time. Okay, how we looking here? So we got the head here, coat, half cape, coat empty, Ah, okay. Alright, jacket. So far, so good with this. It's still not as, correct as I'd like for it to be. Ah, okay. All right. All right, main coats. I select this, and then I go back to my mask, and then it's easier to kind of select on the actual lines. Yeah, kinda. I wonder. Probably like to move the line art over, don't I? Yeah, kinda works. But now the coat line is like this, so that ain't gonna work. And it's weird, like, figuring out how to tackle layering and stuff like that when it comes to making orthographics. Maybe I'll just leave it like this at the moment. Because I do have, you know, the general concept art here. And now we just have the coat. And then we have the half cape here. They have like the flap of the coat, so we know like how the coat's supposed to blah. Yeah, how the rain there's actually a specific term for this like little coat thing. This is like the rain shield, or it's called. I think that's what it's called, the rain shield of the coat. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Prototype for Xbox 360. Yeah. The big direction I want to go with this arm is initially, I was kind of like so the direction of the character that my commissioner was telling me, because this is for his game, is that the character is to be able to do like big thrusting claw motions. And so I want to draw attention to big claw so the player will know, hey, that claw is pretty dangerous, you should dodge it. And my programmer was like, okay, we also need to figure out little ways of like getting it to glow in the dark, because this is the game's sort of a moodier, it's like a moodier gothic setting, and of course the outfits are mostly black, and it's kind of one of those like funny things where it's like, you know, how are you gonna make a glow in the dark thing when you have outfits that are just mainly black? So I'm figuring out things was like having a little jewelry, having like a lot of glowing eyes, stuff like that. So yeah, figuring that out is pretty interesting. Then I kind of have a red variant with more eyes just to see if I could make it work. In fact, I do ponder where if not I should give this other arm like a alternate color. Where is it? Where the hell's that other arm? Ah, there it is. So yeah, figuring out like alternate colors of this other arm would be interesting to tackle. I could probably like maybe do like a fast hue shift. Like have it arranged like this. Then instead have the eyes yellow like this. So it still kind of like has a glow in the dark, but it matches the rest of the fit. It could work. Oh, you blue arm. Probably should have made a better orthograph, because initially this was supposed to be like a side thing, and it's supposed to look like, you know, what the hand looks in the back, but I need to I probably need to redraw this so it's more like what the orthographic is supposed to look like, you know, when it's flat. So it's easy for a modeler to do. Which is kind of funny because a sufficiently experienced modeler will know how to work with just its concept art. It's just that I feel guilty for, you know, I want to at least make things not as confusing overall. So that's why I'm kind of just putting in all this work to kind of just get, what is that? Ah, okay, so that's the undershirt. Alright, I think I know what that is. Yeah, fuck it, I'll let that rock for a bit. Now that's the tough thing about like making clothing, is that you kind of like have this like fashion thing, but it's not as exact as I'd like for it to be. Okay. Plus, I still have to get that side view done. Well, let's at least get the basic belts done. Yeah, get rid of half cape, coats, have the coat open. And then have these called belts. Yeah, it's pretty simple, you know. I think I'll probably like make a big like preliminary like this, because what I'm shooting for is something like how Bloodborne does its belts, where it's like a big like a slight tilt to everything, like have little belts like this. So kind of like this is the general art direction that I'm working with. And these are a few images that he sends me to be like, okay, this is kind of the clothing style overall. And then I tried like adding some other things to my own, you know, my own repertoire to kind of see like, okay, what's the rough era with this? So kind of just fun with that. And yeah, a lot of the inspiration is the tyrants from Resident Evil, kind of just you know, have that inspiration for the claws and stuff like that. And then you use like half capes to cover up that claw, and that's how it'll be. One thing I should have did was I should have like made the cape tattered, so I'll probably like do that later. Yeah, Bloodborne with a Sphinx cat, so it's kind of funny. My initial concept art was, let me see if I can't find them. So my initial concept art was this, like I literally just drew this like little guy. That's kind of just this like funny little thing that I did just to see like what he would want. And yeah, it was like, yeah, this is really cool, but he needs to be like human size, because I also made I also initially made a design with this cat hat, because a lot of his prototype enemies was one of his prototype enemies was this cat, and it was like this I think it was a pre-made cat enemy that he downloaded from like a I forget where he downloaded from, but it's not like his original thing, so he wanted me to like do some character design. So I figured, okay, let me see if I can like go with the spirit of this, but kind of like tilt it more. So these two were kind of like the initial designs overall, and then I think I was like working on other ones with this as well. Yeah, let me motherfucker. So yeah, kind of just had like these designs at first, and he liked the hat cats as like the small enemies, but he wanted to make like a big enemy variant of this guy. So, you know, now I'm kind of like working with the lanky cat, basically. Yeah, it looks like he could use a manicure with claws like that. Oh yeah. Yeah, some fun stuff with that, so probably like cat. You know, what's this? Oh yeah, the human anatomy stuff. Where I was kind of just making an initial paint thing. Probably could just get rid of this because I don't really need it. Put a hat cat here. Another hat cat. Ah, these are turnarounds. Okay. Alright. Now I'm a little bit cleaner in general. So at least let's get some of these belts down. Ugh. That way, everything will be just solid. Because the general idea with the character design has been like working. Like, he's liking just the general direction I'm taking this, so that's been pretty nice. You know what? Probably should just stick with the original concept art and just do one belt. Nope. Nuts. Well. Start it. We'll restart. If all else fails, we restart. Or maybe I should put it under the coat, because the Bloodborne concept art has it under the coat. But my concept art has it over the coat. You know what? Yeah, we're just gonna do the initial thing over the coat. Have the moon inscription, the belt loop here. Probably like make a variant with like how the belt's supposed to open and stuff like that. May like make a buckle. Yeah, I probably could shrink it just a little bit more. That's kind of just how that belt will at least look. There we are. Just like a little like extra bit. Probably could like make a bigger inscription. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can't be crazy precious about this, even though I would like to be precious. It's very easy to be like, okay, let's just refine the line art to be just way tighter. But now I'm kind of like realizing if I end up refining the line art more, I end up just going into this. I feel like the lines just end up just getting stiff again. And that's kind of just been a existential thing that I've been feeling when it comes to a lot of my art these days. Is I feel as if a lot of my art is not having a lot of notable, I guess, feeling. Like it's technically good, but it doesn't like have as much like I guess it doesn't have as much like feeling in a way. Like it doesn't really evoke as much. I don't know. There's still just a thing that I just don't have with my work that I feel is kind of just missing. As a progress of my 2D platformer, so far so good. Most of it is on my programmer's side, where he is basically doing some of his level design stuff, getting the enemies to work and getting that stuff just to actually function as a game. Meanwhile, I am still working on my storyboard for the cutscenes and stuff like that, and thinking about it, I think I'm nearly done with at least the initial draft of those first cutscenes, and then I'll actually finally be back to making more pixel art for those cutscenes, because you know, I do want to at least make a really good first impression when it comes to that Kickstarter. So, you know, I want to at least have as much done overall. But arguably, I have been getting a little tired. I've been, I guess I've been working on that game stuff for so long that I'm like, you know what? If it hits December, I haven't made a crazy amount of progress, I'm just going to take a break for that month and kind of just, you know, re-veg myself, you know, because I do want to at least, you know, just get myself to be artistically fulfilled enough, because sometimes, you know, when you're in the weeds working on a game, you tend to feel as if you're just working on the same project for so long that I sometimes, why'd I spell lich? That sometimes it feel like it starts to just get a little rote, and you know, I don't want to feel like I'm just bored with my thing. And sometimes I kind of like wonder, oh, is the passion still there when it comes to working on Blackmask? And it is when I'm writing Blackmask. Like, I have been feeling a new sense of mental renewal when it comes to learning how to write. It's been helping me, you know, understand what I want to do out of Blackmask, which is, you know, experiencing the world and the you know, how I will convey the world through actually having narrative themes to that world. So yeah, that kind of goes with that. Yeah, save that energy for 2026 because you deserve a month-long break. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good. It's gonna be pretty nice. And of course, obviously, I have my day job, so that's been taking up my time with that. But in terms of, you know, initial development stuff, from what my programmer tells me, once he has the basics of the level design, it's mostly a matter of like just dragging and dropping the new enemies and scenarios, because most of the stuff is programmed. You know, enemies pathfinding, enemies doing like searching and destroying, dealing with platformers, dealing with platforms, collisions, stuff like that. All of it is there. Like, once he gets that down, we're basically, or at least he explains it as, we're roughly like 80% through the tough stuff. So essentially, you know, we'll actually be just focusing more on like doing the actual engaging stuff. How do you make the gameplay loop interesting? How do you know, get the characters compelling, stuff like that. So that's no, that's coming. It's coming along, and I shouldn't be dogging myself all the time when it comes to, you know, am I even making good progress on this game? Because, you know, of course, you spend so long work on the game and you don't have a lot of notable results, you tend to like wonder, man, am I actually like developing a game? Am I actually practicing what I preach with this stuff? And I mean, there's literally no rush. We don't have a deadline. We're literally doing this in our spare time. So it's literally like, you know, no one's paying us yet. So it's, you know, we're not like mooching off people's money really. So I'm kind of worried about nothing, arguably. Yep. Okay. I think I'll get this. I think I've gotten most of what I need done with this. But I could do some more adjustments with this. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think one thing that's pretty nice about indie development that Silksong should have proved is that you can take your time to work on a thing. It's not bad to actually just take your time to work on a thing, because yeah, it's going to be really good results. And the fact that they overall just never had any significant problems with the development is literally just they were having fun figuring out how to make Silksong just really fun, and that's about it. There was no like creative differences, no like big argument stuff. It was literally just they were having a good time, and arguably I do have a good time just conceiving of like little writing things, and you know, Adam has fun seeing the cool art stuff that I kind of just like put out and stuff like that. And he does like show me videos of like what he's been up to when it comes to, you know, what his progress with like game stuff. He was figuring out another mechanic when it comes to like using the environment and stuff like that. And yeah, that's pretty nice. That's like you know, it's a nice like stealth mechanic when it comes to like using the environment to distract the enemy and stuff like that. Wasn't that? Oh yeah, I know what's up. All right, let me see if I can't. Okay. Whoops. Back then. Okay. What was I doing again? Okay. Cape. Where the fuck's my cape? There it is. There the fuck's my cape. Oh wait. It's already... Man, I'm so forgetful. Okay. Okay, everything looks good. Seen Predator Badlands or Frankenstein yet? I want to see Predator Badlands. Frankenstein isn't in my local movie theater though. I want to see Frankenstein real bad. But for some reason, my local movie theater doesn't have Frankenstein, so I'm gonna need to look around to see like who actually is showing it. And if it's strictly on like Netflix, I guess I'll pirate it, I suppose, because I really just don't want to get another Netflix subscription unless I'm just really forced to. But overall, like I am, oh, so Frankenstein is on Netflix. Alright, I guess I'll have to live with that. But yeah, I am interested in seeing the new Predator movie because it looks pretty fascinating. I hear it's an actual direct sequel to Prey. like in like little halfways. Here's a direct sequel to Prey, and it's also a sequel to those that animated Predator show. And I'm curious about how that's working with that. So we're just going to do front, side, call you front. Control S. We're waiting for a bit. All right. All right. And now we're going to do a bit of like change the canvas size. Nudge the canvas size a little bit further out. Move back here. And this should actually be a fill layer. Oh yeah, I know why it's not a fill layer, because it's not a I keep dragging this from Clip Studio Paint to dragging it from Procreate to Clip Studio Paint, so that's why a lot of my stuff ends up like not as cohesive. Alright, so now I'm gonna actually just recrop you. But I can't recrop. So we're going to get the lasso tool. Yes, it's truly amazing to have a story from the Predator's script transfer to the dream come true. Oh yeah, I've been curious about like doing more stuff when it comes to actually elaborating on, the Predator, the actual Predator aliens and all that stuff, like what their actual society is. Because it's actually really funny when you're thinking about the fact that essentially the Predators are I feel like a lot of Predators are just regular dudes who are just going out hunting, and they're just there, just having their own like little fun and stuff like that, just having a few brewskis with the tentacle boys. That's kind of just, it's one of those like beginnings and ends of it. It's not significantly deeper than just proving that they're cool and tough. Of course, there's probably more to it. There's probably like there's probably bigger lore to how the Predators work. I've seen Predator 1, but I think that's about it when it comes to a lot of Predator stuff. I think I've seen parts of Prey. I need to actually watch Prey longer, because I think I've seen it when my parents were watching it on TV and stuff like that, but I've never actually sat down and watched Prey, really. Let's see. Of course, I've seen Alien vs. Predator because I'm a clown. Well, actually, no, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. It's like, you know what, why the heck not? So, saw Alien vs. Predator, and it was super okay, bro. Like, I don't really know what's so awful about it, but it has been a while since I've seen it, so I should probably at least, watch it again. Let's see, Predator 2 I hear is really good. I might catch that one. The hunt is much more deeper in their culture, and fun fact, the females are bigger and more aggressive than the males. So it runs on... Is that why there's so many muscle mommy Predator arts in general? You've now kind of like solved a mystery that I was kind of like pondering for a bit, but I never like took enough time to think about. But now that you've explained that, it actually starts making more sense. Like, all the fan art and stuff like that. I'm like, of course. Was this eye like this? How do cat's eyes work? Side cat eyes are, they're kind of like this. Yeah, it kind of like works like that. Yes, I'm just gonna draw Beerus fan art. Huh. Oh yeah, the muscle mommy predators are canon, so that's kind of fun with that. Oh yeah, that just makes, you know, now just explains so much. Because like every time I see like female predators, it's always like this like big muscle mommy lady. So I'm kind of like, huh, I guess it's just literally just it. But then it's kind of like, oh no, that's actually canon. Well then. Yeah, so that's some fun stuff with that. Has there been a new Alien? Oh yeah, I remember seeing the, there was Aliens Earth that was on Amazon, if I remember right. And that's been, I've never seen that one. I'm probably is not super interested in seeing a new Aliens movie. I think I saw, last Alien anything I saw was Covenant, I think. Yeah, that's the last Aliens anything I've seen, because I don't think I've seen crap, because there's a newer Alien movie that's after Covenant with like a new it's not really a reboot, but it's like a new crew discovering the aliens. It's not Alien Covenant, but it's like the movie after Alien Covenant. I think I'll just let you go here. Oh no, my music stopped. I better continue the music. Or just move to a different playlist. Yep. The Alien Earth. Covenant was bad. Yeah, Covenant was awful. Yeah, Romulus is probably the newer one. But yeah, Covenant is one of those things where it's like, I know that like people need to kind of be a little bit stupid to make the plot happen, but this was a really egregious moment where it's like, you guys are a bunch of professional astronauts and you're taking off your space helmets in a planet that you've never scanned or looked at. My God. That's just one of those just bananas things where it's like, bro, like half the stuff that happens in Covenant would not have happened if you know, the people actually weren't completely brain dead stupid. I think it's not even like a schlock stupid. It's like an actual, I feel like you really need to rearrange their actual motivations. You know, thinking about Covenant, I'm having a hard time actually memorizing who the characters are when it comes to what they're about. Because a lot of Covenant was trying to be as a bridge to Prometheus, and of course explaining Prometheus was kind of a stupid idea. So Alien Covenant was sloppy with that. I barely remember Prometheus. I should at least watch it. Let's see, what was I writing? Oh yeah, headline art. Then head. And then we put the flat colors here. Oops. Let's see, has there been a new Terminator movie in so long? Probably not. Ah, Romulus was a course correction, eh? Yeah, that sounds fascinating. Let's see, because I think the only like notable Alien movies I've seen is Alien 1 and Aliens. Like I've never seen Alien 3, and I've never seen, I guess, any of the other, like, I've never seen Alien 3 at all. Or well, I have seen Alien versus Predator. I guess that's the most notable other Alien movie I saw. But other than that, I don't watch a lot of Aliens. It's kind of interesting watching Alien and then Aliens, because I watched the movies back to back. Because it feels like when you're watching Alien and Aliens, it feels like kind of the loop when it comes to survival horror, where the initial like few hours is like terrifying because you kind of just have nothing. But then once you have more weapons and ammo, you're kind of like just there actually fighting them and planning your stuff out. So that's kind of just one of those fun things about Aliens. And Alien 3 was okay. Alien Resurrection was so bad, it's good. Oh yeah, wasn't Resurrection the one where like Sigourney Weaver made a backwards basketball shot and made it in one take and everyone was popping off? That's pretty rad. Alright. You look like that. Put you here. You know what? Let's duplicate the headline art. Shirt. Give you a little shirty. Oh yeah, that was a little behind the scenes tidbit that I learned about, like, oh yeah, that's pretty rad. Like, it's stuff like that that like AI can't really replicate, just the actors able to just have little moments of just coolness that you really can't just plan and stuff like that. Like, you can't really plan actors doing, you know, improvising and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of studios want to automate out that kind of thing, just having little inputs when it comes to, you know, having little moments when, you know, you have like little flaws or little moments where characters or just people have little genius moments. There's never space for that these days when it comes to, I guess, modern movie creation. There's like stuff that I don't see. Like, maybe it's probably also me like not seeing a lot of like behind the scenes stuff these days. Like I don't buy a lot of Blu-rays, so I don't see things like behind the scenes, behind the scenes, you know, like special features and all that stuff. I don't really see a lot of special feature things these days. Like, they don't even put special features on YouTube or nothing, really. They're not on Netflix. You don't like have like DVD extras. It's literally, you might have an actor having an interview and stuff like that, but don't really have, yeah, that and commentary tracks. You don't really have a lot of commentary tracks these days. So you don't really have moments where it's like, okay, you had actors kind of just little stories of the, you know, actors or directors kind of just improvising and figuring out solutions to problems that they were having, and they end up just finding things that worked because they persevered through that difficult period of pondering a problem and solving it and stuff like that. And at first, I mean, I totally understand why people get frustrated with that, because yeah, I totally get frustrated with my creative process, and I'm always just dogging on myself for not being absolutely perfect. But I'd say in terms of, you know, me kind of like trying to keep myself constantly learning, I have been becoming more and more okay with fumbling these days, like not being an absolute, yeah, how you gonna do this? I wonder if I should just redraw this boot. Probably could just redraw this boot here. Just move it here. Yeah, let's just do this. I just trace this better drawn boot here. You know, here I am kind of like being like, yeah, this is looking so flawful, even though I'm like, you have a cool, fairly flawless boot here, so you might as well kind of just work this. But yeah, when it comes to, I guess, actors kind of just making things, you know, the whole like movie magic stuff like that, there really aren't in these days, because, you know, you got execs just unwilling to spend too much money on, you know, extraneous stuff, or it's for a franchise, for Marvel's case, where it's like you can't really do any like big spontaneous things, because then it has to be, you know, it has to be canon to the lore of Marvel and stuff like that, or you'll have some freaking genius boy being like, well, how does that pertain to the big broad Marvel universe? And it's kind of like, does it actually matter? Like, can it just be a little fun moment where the actors are kind of like making some cool stuff? Because I am starting to notice that a lot of movies are kind of stagnating in terms of, I feel like things are just getting a much less, yeah, back in the old days, behind the scenes features were kept a secret for a long time. That's true. Like, you didn't really have a lot of like notable extra scenes, because, you know, Hollywood didn't want to show off the flaws of stuff, because otherwise it would like break the immersion of people enjoying the movie, I suppose. But I keep just wondering whether or not the fact that, you know, you have a lot of films are becoming all franchise instead of solid films in their own right, and it kind of like loses a thing where you don't have a sense of, I don't know, individuality? I don't know how I can explain it. Maybe that is a thing, because I think it's difficult to really stay with a lot of movies. You know, obviously you kind of like feel like most, yeah, I think this is mostly like me feeling problems with Marvel movies, and that's why I'm kind of like, okay, let's watch something different. I saw Good Fortune. That's a non-Marvel movie that I saw. It's a solid 7 out of 10 movie. Like, it's not crazy exceptional, but it's a movie I'd watch like on DVD. Like, it would be on the it would be something that you would rent at Hollywood Video or something like, or Blockbuster for those who want to be nostalgic and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like one of those DVDs, or just one of those movies where it's not like part of a ginormous franchise. It's not really like a big like it wasn't like a big like it wasn't even advertised that much, really, because it was a Seth Rogen, Keanu Reeves vehicle, and Aziz Ansari's movie, and Keanu Reeves is in it. And it's like, I haven't seen a non-John Wick Keanu Reeves movie in so long. I figured, okay, let's see it. I haven't seen Bill and Ted at all. Like, I haven't seen any of the new Bill and Ted stuff. But, you know, it's like, it's been so long since I've seen Keanu Reeves in anything that wasn't John Wick. So I'm like, you know what? I want to at least catch Good Fortune. So, you know, Good Fortune was pretty nice. There are a few, like, bits where it's kind of like, it makes passing messages about, you know, the gig economy sucks, and, you know, it's difficult to be homeless because you're basically working poor and stuff like that. And obviously money can totally solve your problems because because you actually now have money. So it's one of those just funny little body swap stories, which is what Good Fortune's about. And yeah, I mean, it's not like a ginormously mind-blowing movie, but it's one of those movies where it's like, I would recommend people see it mostly to kind of just remember what a 7 out of 10 movie looks like. Like, I feel like people are so used to either, you know, dealing with the hyperbolicness of seeing the greatest movie of all time or the biggest piece of shit that I've ever seen, and there's never an in-between. Like, I don't feel like people appreciate, I don't know, mid? Like, mid's kind of a really stupid explanation, but it's like, I feel like people don't understand something that's not as it's not as like ginormously amazing, you know. This was supposed to have straps and I fumbled it. This also had laces and it wasn't supposed to. Okay. Alright, Bill and Ted were legit good titles. Oh yeah, I hear it is. I hear the new Bill and Ted was really good. Alex Winter, it's been a while since he's been a thing, but he's still pretty solid at it. And it's nice to see Keanu Reeves in a comedy role once again. So that's, and I'm curious to see that. You know what? I should get that. I should see if the library has Bill and Ted, you know. I've been renting a lot of movies from my library overall because I've deleted my Netflix subscription because I don't want to be paying for Netflix anymore. And I just need to just save my cash for something that's legit. So, yeah, mostly like just get most of my movie watching from libraries, or I go on things like Tubi or Canopy. So that's the library apps, like streaming service where you can rent digital movies through the library service and stuff like that. There's also I think I mentioned Canopy, but there's also a Hoopla. Hoopla also is a library app that goes through your local library and lets you rent movies and ebooks and stuff like that. Yeah, Vanity brought that point several times before, and I think more voices that okay movies are fine. That's true. Yeah, okay. I feel like people are so used to thinking in that hyperbole that they're afraid of liking movies that the general consensus thinks is okay, where they kind of like feel like, well, because I'm not part of the cool kids club, you know, I can't like this movie. I guess it's that ongoing thing of like feeling shame for the things that you actually like, where you're constantly apologizing for, you know, you have a guilty pleasure, or you're apologizing for liking a thing that's supposedly awful. And I totally get that. I empathize with that. Like, I spend a lot of my life like feeling like that too. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, yes, I'm now a totally free spirit. No, I still feel stuff like that. I still feel a sense of shame in my life. and obviously I work through it, and I have to take that shit one day at a time. But it's not like I'm the only one feeling stuff like that, because there's plenty of people who fall into it, and it ends up kind of just making things all the sadder, because it just makes people just be unwilling to like culture. It's difficult to really like things when you're aware of all the sweat and tears that came to making those things, and who created those things, what goes into making those things, how other people like those things, because you have basically access to other people's opinions on like media or an event or a concept. You're aware, you end up being aware of other people much more than is comfortable. And because everybody has access to everyone else's dog shit opinions, okay, it's probably not dog shit, but it's like, because everyone has access to each other's opinions, you end up being scared of having your own opinion, because you'd never want to break that social contract of not being, finger quotes, the cool person, whether you want to be the cool person of your group or you want to be the cool person of your peers, or being the cool person of, I don't know, life, or getting clout on the internet, or doing, just being the cool person. People are obsessed with being the cool, unbothered, or the tastemaker. Everyone wants to be the tastemaker and stuff like that, but nobody wants to accept their tastes. Everyone wants to be a tastemaker, but nobody wants to really stand behind their tastes. So that's kind of just one of those things where it's a difficult thing to get people to think about, because most people, or at least with me, I feel as if, you don't want to be that one guy who gets dogpiled online, or you don't want to be the one with the wrong opinion or the uninformed opinion, because there's also some moments where people can be shamed online for basically just having, well, not just having a bad take, but kind of like having a misinformed thought about a lot of these things stuff. That's been a big problem when it comes to Twitter, is that you're having someone with a fairly misinformed thought and feelings, but you just have a lot of people kind of dogpiling on that person because of stuff like that. And that can really fumble with, people in general, even if it's like a younger person. Like that can, young people are probably like really TikTok brain when it comes to being shamed on the internet. But I feel like older people are still vulnerable to that as well. And nobody really takes time to like think about that, because, then you'd have to contend with the fact that you are not as unflappable as you think you are. So, I guess, long story short, it's good to be cringe and free. I don't know how I can like explain stuff like this. There's way more to that, but yeah, cringe culture needs to die. Yeah, of course, because it's more than just cringe culture. Because cringe culture is a plant that was seeded by lolcal culture. So you have like internet trolls, they will find this one person, and then you have like a bunch of drama and stuff like that about that person, or you have like this YouTube celeb that constantly crashes out, but then you just have a lot of things that are just about that person. Or you'll have an artist who is, struggles to take critique because they get constantly unwarranted critique and things like that. Or, you just have a lot of people kind of just basically excusing bullying, essentially. And maybe I should have did this, but nah. But essentially, you have a lot of that cringe culture is kind of a remnant of lolcal culture and stuff like that. Just people reporting on other people just doing arguably embarrassing things. And a lot of it is mostly like, is it embarrassing or is it mostly just out of your comfort, essentially? Because usually when people are saying like, okay, this is really embarrassing, it's literally just, okay, this is very uncomfortable and I don't want to see that. And it can be pretty easy to be like, okay, this is making me uncomfortable, so it's cringe, stuff like that. So I don't really know. I personally cannot solve that because, that's a people issue, and I live in a society. I cannot really alter things in society other than maybe setting a better example. So, it is what it is with that. Let's see. But yeah, obviously it's cringe to cringe, yada yada, and stuff like that. And it ends up just psychologically damaging people because they're constantly worried about what other people think. And obviously, in order to not worry about what other people think, you need to basically be confident in what you do with yourself. So yes, that'll work. Usually I would like try to close off all the lines and stuff like that, but this was already selected, so invert. Boom. All right, we have a little undershirt. And then we'll have like a little jacket. Yeah, punching up and not punching down. Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of lolcal culture was just punching down on the mentally ill. It's one of those things where when you're younger, you don't really put it together because you're a young child who's an asshole. Like, young people are assholes. And okay, I'm probably punching down, but it's like I was a young person, so it doesn't like feel like I'm punching down, because I'm basically like chastising my younger self, because I could argue that I've also participated in lolcal culture. Like, I used to like read 4chan and stuff and Encyclopedia Dramatica. Half the reason why I keep a lot of my why I kind of stay at arm's length with a lot of the furry fandom stuff is because I kind of like still feel remnants of reading a lot of drama stuff on Encyclopedia Dramatica. A lot of stuff is probably not true, but I feel like psychologically it kind of like keeps me thinking about that stuff. And when a lot of this when a lot of the when you're younger, and you're kind of like looking at the people who are doing worse off than you. You know, it can feel, it has a different feeling because, you know, when you're in school, you kind of like feel like, you know, you're kind of isolated from everything. You don't feel like you belong anywhere. And, you know, you're online, you're seeing this person who's weird, and like, you know, I don't belong, but at least they suck, and I don't have to be that person. It's kind of like in that vein where, you know, they're, you know, you're not feeling worse because, you know, your day is bad, but at least you're not that weird person, that kind of thing. And that's kind of this teenage culture, well, not teenage culture, but like the teenage life of like, yeah, it probably should be higher here. There you are. But yeah, a lot of teenage culture is, you know, you're feeling constantly uncool because you don't know who the heck you actually are as a person. And you're trying to experiment and figure out who the heck you actually are as a person. And because you're constantly trying to figure that out, you're also like trying to feel for what's approved in, you know, your like friend group and stuff like that. So that's why you just have a lot of teenagers who are just assholes because all the other teenagers are assholes. You have a lot of teenagers who, you know, they will do like a bunch of like twerking TikTok dances because all the other teenagers do twerking TikTok dance and stuff like that. Honestly, twerking is not really much of a thing these days. Like, I don't really see a lot of teenagers just doing twerking overall. But in terms of like trends and stuff like that, and people trying to like keep up with being, you know, finger quotes cool, you end up just being, I guess, boring because they don't want to appear weird, so to speak. So you have a lot of teenagers who probably end up growing up into adults who still don't know who they really are because they've spent most of their life trying to be a mirror to their peers and not really establishing their own identity outside of maybe the music that they mutually listen to. And it's not that it's it's not that it's a bad thing because, you know, you'll end up learning about yourself when you do it. So it's not like a completely bad thing to be like mirroring people who you like and have kinship with. It's just sometimes people can be, I guess, chameleons where they change their personality and their interests in the drop of the hat, and they don't really have anything you stand on. It's sort of the Drake the rapper sort of has this problem where he's kind of a nobody person because he's mostly there to be unoffensive and unobtrusive. Same with Mr. Beast. Because Mr. Beast doesn't really like, you know, he doesn't indicate that he stands for something or he has interests or he has like a bit of like a background or anything like that. A lot of Mr. Beast just ends up feeling superficial eventually because it feels like he kind of like doesn't have much of a personality besides be YouTube game show host. Like even Markiplier has a bit of like personality when it comes to, you know, he believes in doing the right thing or, you know, making sure that his friends are having fun and not being hurt and things like that. And of course, enjoying video games and stuff like that. I was like, I never really get a sense when it comes to, you know, seeing the few Mr. Beast videos. Like, I'll a lot of Mr. Beast videos feel like the same amount of processing that I feel with a lot of television, like a lot of actual like on TV television shows and stuff like that. Fortnite dances are more in vogue. Yeah, that makes sense. It's kind of funny. I've recently started playing Fortnite with my friends, but I haven't played Fortnite in a month because I've only like did like 2 games with my friends. And yeah, I do like learning how the game works. It's been pretty fun actually playing Fortnite, but I'd say in terms of just learning the game, I don't really casually play Fortnite without my friends being like, hey, you want to play Fortnite? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I kind of just hop in. And, you know, me and my friends, we just have fun just being, you know, being in duos and stuff like that. And I actually do love the actual default dance because the default dance is from Scrubs. I'm like, I fucking love Scrubs. So it's kind of just one of those things where it's like, even if I got better dances, I probably would still like the default dance because it just, I love Scrubs that much. Let's see. Yeah, you're here. But there aren't many costumes that are really enticing me to be like, yes, spend money on Fortnite. Yeah, there really aren't many things in Fortnite that I'm like chomping at the bit to spend money on at the moment, so probably just have to withhold my judgment of Fortnite in general. Like, I haven't really done a lot to explore Fortnite myself. Like, it's one of those games where it's an online game, but I never have time to actually play it that much. So I never really... Now, one, I don't really play a lot of video games now that I'm kind of just noticing. As I spend more of my time, I guess I just get way more satisfaction just drawing over playing video games. That's kind of just how that goes with me. Like, you know, I was having fun with Blueprints and Balatro, but these days I haven't really been playing those games that much because I spend more time, you know, doing the drawing stuff. And it's not to say that those games are awful. It's that I'm now kind of just moved on from it. And I think it probably just says that I don't have as addictive of a personality with games as I used to. Because back in the day, I played more video games. Like, I was able to get through RPGs in like a week and things like that. But these days, I'm like, okay, I am not really spending a lot of time on a lot of these RPGs as I used to. Okay. Invert. Oops. What's wrong with you? I know what's up. Okay. Undershirt. So far, so good. Oh yeah, that's what's missing. I need to get the shoulder here. I heard Kirby Air Riders is looking good. Like, it's a really, really good Kirby Air Ride game. I've been curious to, like, you know, I watch videos of, like, you know, people doing the big open beta tests and stuff like that. I've been looking pretty fascinating with like the new air ride machines and how City Trial looks. Yeah, see it. You know, thanks for stopping by and having a little chat. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up for a bit because I basically have the jacket down. So once I do that, I'm just gonna get started on work on some more storyboards. Probably could dumpster this, and that should be good. And I never really decide on whether or not the character should have a tail or not. I just dumpster you and you should be good. Alright, at least making some strides. This is probably the most strides ever made in this game. Or not this game, but this project in so long. So I feel like I've kind of like been putting it off for so long. Alright, we'll control SU. Because I think I also need to get the cape done. But so far so good. I also noticed that the jacket is way lower than how it's supposed to look. I think I might be able to jimmy this a bit. Got it. All right. And then I'm gonna get rid of this, and then it'll be a little bit better. And I'm nearly done with this orthographic, and it should be good. No, it should be fine. And then get the back closer. Probably would be a split thing, but we'll let that rock for now. We'll save you. I'm actually going to take a bit of a break, and we're going to move on to some storyboarding. So I shall be alright to the back. It's mostly like I've been working on just adding. I've been working on some new pre-boss cutscenes. So this is the actual, you know, Cole has reached his destination when it comes to finding Nad. So now they're actually going to fight, and this is mostly kind of just me basically remastering really old paper sketches that I had a while ago. Okay. But yeah, I'd say most of this right now is kind of just working this out. I think in terms of pacing, I do have we were pacing with a lot of stuff, because Cole actually has a more like straight on stare. So let's see, I probably would put this here. Yeah, probably like have this put there in a different page. But it is what it is with this. I'm also there's some stuff that I would like do different. Like I would probably have it so Cole swings his sword at a thing, at an approaching arrow. So let's see, he would probably close up. Cole leaps away. Yeah, I would need this one. I don't know why I didn't duplicate you here. I just have duplicates. More split screen duplicates. Okay. All right. Where is this? I guess I have a duplicate close-up panel. Okay. Split screen, reveal that, land on tree. Need to be before this. Maybe like a little transition where he falls off the tree. Something like this. I do want to establish in the cutscene that Cole can cut those arrows. Go from here to here. I think I know what I can do. Okay, maybe I could probably like do like a thing, or fuck it. Let's not overthink this and just reuse the arrangement. It's probably like let's reuse the arrangement. Reuse the arrangement. Kind of just establish at the trees right here. And just not overthink it. And if there's a continuity error, I'll reread it and see like how that goes. But right now I need to just get in draw the damn thing mode. Because I think one big thing that's kind of just been my big issue is that I'm constantly overthinking basic things when I need to just go. Probably could just recolor this and save myself the effort. but I do want to at least give him a bit more of a raccoon feel with that. And also use the entire screen for this sword. That way it just looks overall as cool. There. Now, one thing that I'm not as happy with is that I still feel like my my just general like thick and thin stuff with my sketch art isn't as immaculate as I need it to be. Just let you do this. Still didn't even dry his eyes. Now we're going to add Cole himself. I don't know why I keep just misspelling literally everything, but we doing it. We do it. Do a thing where all right, get enough. Get that coal there. Get the tree trunk here. Tree. Trunk. Tree trunks. I wonder. Horse. Inverts, color in, boom. Wow, I'm just going faster than I probably would have did. Okay. I do need arrows though, so let me oh. You wanna know what a brush that I rarely use? So I have an arrow brush, and this is mostly like my pile of effect brushes that I have that I rarely use, mostly because, you know, why would I? Yeah, I can just put arrow brushes wherever I need it to be. Because all my arrow brushes are just facing down, they kind of just be wherever they need to be. Got it. Let's just make one arrow brush and then just move it wherever I need it to go. So, move you. And we're kind of just gonna freaking figure out where those arrows are supposed to be. So you. Copy V. You move here. Yeah, you will. Move like that. Like move around here. What does Cole's stuff look like again? Oh, the arrow cannot be here. Oops. I would have to. Oopsie doodle. You know, I'm overthinking you. Let's just move you someplace where you're gonna do the least amount of harm here. Put you here. Yeah. Put this here. And probably refine this arrow so it's kind of blends in with the environment a bit more than not. Arrows. Of course, arrows. Yes, that's how it's spelt. Arrows. Again, I am constantly overthinking this because these are well-drawn arrows and these are supposed to be storyboards. I need to figure out how I could have it read as, hey, these arrows can be cut. Yeah, this will work. Yeah, this could move this, and that'll look good. And we like put one more arrow here. Motherfucker. And at this point, I've kind of like stopped caring about how it's supposed to look. Start kind of just thinking about just getting the energy within my art style and all that stuff. Or not the art style, but just getting it just there. And not worrying about like whether the brush looks correct and stuff like that. And now more arrows, and then I could probably like put you in white, and everyone can see. Fuck. All right. Okay. Arrows. Yeah. Alright. Again, this is starting to become more of a slop show, but right now I'm kind of just like, you know, let's just get it down, you know? Okay. Okay. Alright, probably, this would probably, like, be 9, even though I feel like in continuity, this would be, this would actually be way later. Oh, I need you 100%. It's 9:05. I'm spending more time than I should, but bleh. At least I've got this. Alright, we're achieving 5s. Dumpster this. Dumpster these. Control S. Alright, let's kind of get some loadings going. Actually, part 1. Put you in Courier Prime. Courier Prime. Why Courier Prime? Storyboarding. Well, actually, script writing specifically. This is a really good script writing font that's as close to script writing software like Screever or well, what's it called? Final Cut. Not Final Cut, but Fade In. And it's one of those it's a font that might work with other word processing formats, and they're really close in terms of like font size for the actual regular script writing font without actually being the script writing software. And the reason why the font is that size is because a 12-point font, if like filled up a page, it should only like fill up one page per minute. You know, that's the typical screenwriting parlance. Is each page is roughly a minute of shown like story and stuff like that. So the nice rule of thumb is you're planning out your like descriptions and stuff within, you know, like each minute. So a typical like average, you know, an average like cartoon episode would be like 11 to 22 pages, because, you know, it's factoring in the commercials or it's factoring in cliffhangers and stuff like that. Well, mostly commercials. That's mainly why it's 11 minutes. It's because of commercials and all that stuff. And of course, it's supposed to fit into a 30-minute block of time, so, you know, 22 minutes plus, you know, 8 minutes of commercials. So that's kind of just how that goes with that. Yeah, the way that poorly route got all the treasure up here. Okay, then Cole will be just having a valid crash out here. Because I don't think I like wrote Cole having an explanation beyond like a yipe or an oof. And I'm looking at my script right now, my script draft, and there's still nothing. So we're just gonna let that rock for a bit. Yeah, Courier Prime is probably not the absolute like, oh, I would send this to Hollywood. No, you probably would have to re-edit an actual screenwriting program. But since I'm an indie artist, you know, an indie film dev and stuff like that, as long as I have the story down, it really doesn't matter what kind of thing I got. Because at the end of the day, it's the story that actually matters, not like every like stupid little tool that you can grab onto. Sure, some tools can solve a few of your problems. Like it's significantly harder to, you know, make it's hard to cut a tree if your axe is never sharp, or you have like a crappy plastic axe and things like that, you know. So, you know, sometimes you do need to blame your tools, but in this situation, I don't need to. Like in this situation, I need to excuse me. All right. Yeah, put the zoom in here. Okay, I think I know. It's that like you zoom in variant of this. So this is here. I could probably like do an anime thing like put in speed lines, but I'm not gonna. I think what I need to do, put this here, put this behind this, or better yet, put this put you up here. Yeah, put the initial reaction here. Paste that out some more. Paste that out so he feels like he's searching, figuring out like where the hell he went. Alright. Went this way. Put this up here. Put this here. And then Naz right here. Okay, I'm nodding. I'm having a nod. Like put there here as like a whoa reveal. And probably like have Nad like this. So I say the next few panels is like having a zoom in of Nad. Okay. Alright, so what I'm gonna be doing is I'm actually going to be doing a bit of a perspectivism where kind of just need to make sure that this is not as obtrusive, so I probably would move the trunk further in so Nat has room to basically just walk in and start fucking taunting Toll. Good enough. Tree. Okay. Keep thinking that this tree needs to be like much lower. Keep thinking this should be a lower tree. And then Nat will have more room to kind of just be himself, being a dick. Fucking A. Yeah, fuck it. I'd probably make him smaller, so the legs had room to kind of say, hey. Yeah, actually, his legs are, all right. Gotta have big fucking eyebrows. got this down. I'm kind of like going way too detailed on them. Yeah, well. Okay. All right. Fuck it. We can mask it out later. At least I can mask it out later. You're not currently drawing this. I don't know why I keep saying we when I really mean me. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. I'm hitting tired mode. I'm now like being real sloppy. I should have started streaming earlier, but I'm just gonna let this go for now. Yeah, still didn't work. Good. Okay. Or what if I put him behind the trees? And what if I had leaves? Kind of just frame them. There we are. Looks freaking aesthetic. Have this start here. Usually leaves a sort of a framing thing to kind of just say, hey, this is starting to look much more, nudge it down some more. Now things are kind of looking dynamic. I'm liking this. What I really need to do is, make this look like he has way more arrows and stuff like that. Probably not like make this more aesthetic. $9.29. I'm pondering whether I should continue with the split screen or not. Probably should at least wrap that stream up with the split screen. Control S. dumpster. You're here. Okay. Finally have the split screen. It's very likely I'll just trace this. Wow. Here. I could just use the yeah, Cole's a bit too fox looking. I need to get him more bear looking. So I gotta widen his snout more. One thing that's difficult about raccoons is that it's easy to make them look like foxes because I keep giving them narrower snouts than they really have. Up, so there's a bit of a distance here. Still think his snout's way too long. We'll have to live with it. I just realized something. He's shooting with his opposite hand. Luckily, I'll just Yeah, in the continuity, he's shooting with his opposite hand. He is right hand shooting instead of left hand shooting. I also noticed that this is absolutely fumbling his... This is completely screwing his entire... Ah, damn it. This perspective is yucky. Yeah, I've absolutely fumbled this perspective. Like, the initial composition looks aesthetic. Unfortunately, it's also out of continuity, so I really just fumbled it. Probably could, like, just keep the same just keep the cool shot. Or kind of just make that ambidextrous. That's literally just a solution that you can do. If you just really want a cool shot or you want a cool function, but the character doesn't have consistent hand style like with Link and most video game heroes. I feel like most video game heroes are left-handed because a lot of like developers are right-handed, but since they're seeing outside the perspective, you know, they're just seeing characters with the opposite hand of how they usually have it. I'd have to double check to see like if other video game characters are left-handed. Maybe I'm completely wrong and that's only Link, because Link's the most notable left-handed. Yeah, man, I'm probably just being insane right now. I feel like I fumbled the screenshot a bit. I feel like I fumbled it. Oh, this call. Couple. Yeah, my typing is just so loose. Why is it that I can't type, honestly? Well, we made this work. Pretty alright. So I'll probably just export this. Alright. Stick you in the actual proper board. Okay. Control SU. And that'll work. But yeah, I'd say I'm wrapping the stream for now. I mean, it's been pretty alright. Got a decent amount of boards done. And yeah, I mean, so far so good with everything. Kind of just been, yeah, the boarding process was kind of like super okay. I probably could have went a little bit further, but I'd say for now, I mean, this was a decent, this was a decent showcase. Probably could have streamed a little longer, but for now, I'd say I'm just gonna wrap it for now. But yeah, I'll be streaming next week, probably specifically next Wednesday, because I guess I've just been wherever I need to go with live streaming and stuff like that. I do want to at least get as much streaming done before Thanksgiving, when I have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Anywho, you know, thanks for stopping by, and I'm gonna see if there's anyone to raid. And then I'm just gonna get on going. I will see you all next time, and have a good week.